Core Stories, Ordinary Marines, Extraordinary Lives.
For me, it was the geopolitical aspect. I knew that I was going to be going to different countries and being close to like the ambassador and other foreign dignitaries. So just the fact that I could get up close and personal with them, that would just boost my knowledge on the political world, and I could see things from another country's perspective as well as ours. I wanted to get into the military because before the military, I wanted to get into politics. So. Yes. I wanted to get into politics.
Research before you.
I did my research a little bit. I wanted to get a job with a decent classification level, and one where I can just like scope out kind of like how things are ran. So when I was talking to my recruiter, and he offered the MSG program because I'd be going to other countries, and that just piqued my interest.
So for me, MSG wasn't my initial plan. It kind of just happened. I'm a contracted Marine security guard, so it's what you call like MGPEF, which means like you'll contract as an MSG. You'll sign a security forces / MSG contract, which is basically you can either get selected to go to security forces or MSG. That'll be your first 2 years, and then your next 3 years will be, or 2 years will be infantry. So infantry is my primary. Right now, I'm doing my secondary. Initially, when I first went to my Marine Corps recruiter, I knew that I wanted to do a more combat-oriented MOS, but I didn't want to just be straight infantry. So he gave me my options, and I was like, okay, security forces is interesting to me. So I was expecting to get that because MSG was more known as like a top tier thing.
It is, definitely.
So coming out of SOI, School of Infantry, I was expecting to get security forces. I think I had around 30 Marines in my platoon at SOI, which are security forces platoon. So we were thinking that all of us were probably going to go to security forces, but then they took, I think, 20 of us ended up getting selected to go to the Marine Security Guard School. So it kind of just happened. I knew that I could go, and I was okay with going, but initially I wanted security forces. But either way, though, I mean, it all worked out. I'm still okay with how things went.
So for me, I'm a prior fleet Marine, so I came from Okinawa, Japan. That was my first duty station. I enjoyed my time frame over there, and I loved it, and so I decided to do another 4 years to continue an enlistment. In order to do that, I was told either you could continue on doing your MOS, your job, your main job, or instead try to do a B-billet. So it could be a drill instructor, be a combat instructor, be a Marine security guard. They're telling me all these things. And I kind of wanted to stay back in Okinawa, Japan, stay another 4. But yearly, the HIS list comes out. So instead of being HISted and told you're doing this, I'd rather like to choose what I want to do next. And looking into information of all the other B-billets, Marine Security Guard was the one that got my interest. Since I'll be able to travel the world due to getting to explore Japan, I wanted to explore more of the world as well. Yes, I like the experience. It opens your eyes and realize there's more out there besides just being American. You take part in other cultures and experience life a bit as well, as representing the United States Marine Corps and the U.S.
Very similar to Cold Corner. I'm a contracted MGPEF. The only difference is that I definitely wanted to be a Marine Security Guard. Unlike Marine Security Forces, I wasn't really interested. I wanted to travel a lot more. So that's definitely another thing that piqued my interest with the Marine Security Guard. So it was really my recruiter, because he was telling me not to be just infantry, and that he wanted me to do something with it. Because I just wanted to do something that was more not sitting, I guess. I wanted to be more active. Well, me personally, I literally lived in an island for most of my life. Beautiful island, but it's pretty small, so.
Hey, so I was also kind of similar to Jordan Glacia. I came from Camp Pendleton.
where I was a emergency mechanic. I loved my time there. I did 3 years there. Had a phenomenal time. And then when it came time to re-enlist, I had to make a decision between stay in my MOS or move on and try something new. And just speaking to the other people that I knew that did MSG or one of the other billets, I narrowed it down to drill instructor or MSG. And I had one person, one of my mentors, kind of persuade me to drill instructor, and I had another mentor persuade me to MSG. So basically, I had to made a pros and cons list between the two. I wrote down all my goals, my personal goals, like first year, second year, third year, and then it came down to MSG was the best fit. In terms of travel, that was a big one. Experiencing new cultures, another one. Being able to have more time on my hands to do school, and then just the connections.
So I actually found out about the MSG program before I joined the Marine Corps. That's like the first job I wanted to do.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. But I didn't have the opportunity to become a Marine security guard at first. So I had to go to the fleet first, and after the fleet, re-enlist to get a Marine security guard.
So MSG has always been something I've wanted to do. It started when I was Lance Corporal. I'd heard about the MSG program through word of mouth, through the Lance Corporal Underground Network. During that time, I had just like Alicia, my first duty session was out in Okinawa, Japan. So I had been there maybe 2 months before I was sent on my first deployment.
What was that?
I was in the Philippines for a couple of months. Did about 3 months in the Philippines supporting operations. Shortly after, when I returned to Okinawa, I got put on another deployment on the 31st MU, which kind of put a halt to a lot of things that I wanted to do, like pursue my education, know more about the MSG program, etc. So then, next thing you know, it's my time on the island is up, and I'm due to rotate back to the States. So I rotate back to the States, land in Yuma, Arizona. MSG is still something I want to pursue, and
All that time?
right. So then, next thing you know, I volunteered to deploy to Iraq on a combat replacement billet.
Oh, God bless you.
So that took a lot of time, and
Who were you signed with?
so I was assigned to the Advisor Training Group. So I was on standby for a year to deploy to Baghdad and help the military transition, or at least the Iraqi army transition, so they could do things on their own. So I never actually got to deploy, so which is kind of upsetting. As a young Marine, that's all we want to do.
No, I know, it's so true.
So then after the standby time, about a year later, I volunteered to deploy to Afghanistan, got my wishes granted. I was out there and then came back to the States, and a year later, I volunteered to be a drill instructor. I did that for about 3 years, came back to the fleet. I was in Miramar at the time, and it was my time to deploy again, so I deployed again, and that kind of offset all the desires that of being an MSG. It just put them on hold. Then when I got back from the deployment, about a year later again, I volunteered to be a drill instructor again at the Naval Academy, which I was at for 3 years, a little over 3 years, and long story short, I went back to Yuma. And finally, when I got selected to Master Sergeant, I didn't want to be in my MOS again, so I volunteered to go on the MSG program. And I've always liked to challenge myself, and it kind of the MSG program fell within that realm where I can challenge myself. I told the Marines that between drill instructor school and MSG school, they're almost neck and neck. So going to MSG school made me remember my time as a student at drill instructor school, and I wondered why I was putting myself through that again as a Master Sergeant. However, like the Marines, like you mentioned, there's an adventurer in most of us, and I think I'm I've gone to that scope where. Like Alicia, I want to see what's out there. My first experience overseas was in Okinawa. Had a blast. Visiting the Philippines was incredible. Being in so many other countries during my port visits, that kind of it keeps you. You get the bug. It's like a.
So you do or you don't?
Right. You get the itch to keep doing it, you know, and being in a combat zone kind of broadens your perspective on life and the lives of other people, you know, that live there. So MSG fits right in to everything that I've wanted to do in my career, with the travel, the toughness of the course, the challenges that comes with, especially with the young Marines and myself being out here in an austere environment, where
Incredibly austere.
as you may know already, you know, the government out here is slowly going through a lot of challenges, or at least the country's going through a lot of challenges, and I guess that's what we, I don't want to say desire, but that's what attracts us, which is.
So for me, I'm thinking of actually still staying in after the MSG program. I may move though to another MLS. I enjoy my MLS. It's financial technician and assistant field cap, but I think there's more to learn for me in other MLSs as well. So from there, if I do get to move, I'll stay in the Marine Corps for another 5 years, 4 years. If not, maybe look into a three-letter agency, because of security clearance and the opportunities provided, there's like the options are limitless.
That's right.
Well, at least for me, I'm not so sure about the Marine Corps. I'm definitely debating. I gotta see the fleet first before I do any actual decision. But yeah, it's been a good experience so far. And that's one thing that I'll definitely think I'll take from here, like experience, like sort of like Corporal Cormer said, like you mature pretty quickly, and I definitely did not expect to like plan a whole ball with a lot of help, but definitely like it was something because the deck commander wasn't around for that moment, and it's pretty big. Like were pretty big decisions that I had to make. At least that's what I saw, and that was pretty amazing. Like it was a good experience. That taught me a lot more responsibility and made me a better person with that.
So for me, I think one of the few things I'm gonna take with me is for sure time management again, as everyone stated before, and I think that's really, really big. It's a very independent duty where you have to kind of keep a track of everything that you have going on. Like Cormer said, that no one's gonna really hold your hand. You get tasked out, whether it's from deck commander, A/, whoever it is, and just have to be on top of it, honestly. Another thing is just the interactions with the community, knowing who you're talking to, who's who, understanding the whole community essentially, who to go to for this situation or who to go to for this. I think that's key. So yeah, for sure. And then traveling, just knowing what to bring with you, what you need, the essentials, don't overpack, don't underpack, stuff like that. What's next for me? I found out where I'm going next, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I got told in advance because it's a high threat post, it's a contact release post. So I have to kind of speed up the process for my visa so that I can help relieve the Marine over there. But looking forward to that, bring the experiences from here into there, and just making the most out of it.
For me, it's adapting because I have recently got here. I've been here for a month yet. So the transition from being a fleet Marine to a Marine security guard is a big difference as far as life and like the different interactions I have with people. And that's one of the things that I need to get better at. Like, it's getting used to this Marine security guard life, like as they said about time management. Because here, like you're gonna have your own schedule and you're gonna have to take care of your own things at your own time. And looking forward after this is, I'm looking forward to go to the next post. I'm not too sure where I want to go yet, or somewhere in the Middle East or Europe. I just want to experience like something different.
Good. From here, I guess I'm going to take a lot of just experience in living in West Africa. It's kind of
With the family.
right. Yes, it's kind of grounded me a lot more actually, and realize that there's people that really do live out here and have to live without electricity sometimes. They live without running water. A lot of people shower in the lakes. Up north in Lomé, in the mountains, people shower in the rivers. You can't find a whole lot of red meat around here. Most people shop for the fruits and vegetables out at outdoor markets. We have to sanitize our fruits and vegetables with vinegar.
Wow.
It's not an easy life that people live here, so being here has given me a lot more perspective and empathy towards, the people that live out here. Not that I didn't respect them before, however, we live a lot more comfortable than they do, and even yet, it's a different lifestyle. My family and I have had to adapt our lives completely in order to adapt here. So I think I'm going to take that with me, and I'm glad to see my family adapt with me as well. It's easy for Marines to adapt to things. We get to a new location. This is our home.
You embrace it.
You embrace it. It's like they say, you embrace the suck. We're used to it. We're okay with it. It doesn't bother us. However, I have family. This is the first time out of the United States, so watching them endure the suck with me, it's a little difficult because it's they're not used to this lifestyle like we are. This is what we signed up to do. This is a lifestyle that we chose, and they went from a perfectly good home in Arizona with everything they could ask for to come to a country in West Africa where the light goes off at least 5 times a day, and sometimes it doesn't come back for hours at a time. So I guess just the experience out here, that's something I'm going to take with me. Keeps you humble, I guess. Whenever I go through hard times, I always think to my previous assignments and it could be worse. Like Elisa said, it can always be worse. You got to look at things from a different perspective. So that's what I'm going to take away from this post, and obviously embracing relationships and the networking that I get from here. Looking forward to the future. The future's unclear for everybody. It's not set in stone. What I would like to do, move on from this post to another post, a bigger post maybe, network, get a few business cards here and there, get to know people, and retire. This is, I've come
How many years in that?
I've been in 18 years. I have 3 left, 2 more on the program. We're soon to be 2 on the program, and I'll have an extra year, which I'd like to spend in McKessich, helping out where.
Oh, sure, they'd love to have you.
Right, and I'm at the end of the road now. I'm ready to move on. I've enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps a lot, but there's not a whole lot for me to do anymore.
I mean, you've done it all.
I've done it all.
Yeah.
I'm going to look back on my career and not regret anything. I'm happy getting out and using my experiences in the Marine Corps to work another federal job.
Good.
Do another 15 years working and earn my second retirement. And after that second retirement, I don't kind of lift a finger anymore.
How could you lifting a finger having fun?
This motion right here is going to be my favorite. I hope to be able to push, put my nose to school and just, keep doing it for my family. That's what's next for me. Get out and keep supporting my family.
Core Stories. Ordinary Marines, Extraordinary Lives.